G'day guys, Cam Wild Touring. Pete and I, that's Pete from WA Camping Adventures, and I are up here in Shark Bay, Western Australia. Beautiful campsite right on the beach. What I'll do is first I'll roll you a bit of a trailer to show you what we've been doing. As you can see, we've been having an awesome time up here. It hasn't been without its hiccups. There's definitely been some highs and lows, but we're finishing on a great note. Today is actually day 9, and tomorrow we're heading home. But I wanted to start the series first by showing you how we're set up, because we don't normally camp for that long in one spot. So we've set up quite a bit of a base camp that's quite different to our normal setup. And the drive up here I actually recorded separately for Patreon, so Patreon viewers have already seen that by now. But I'd like to show you around camp and show you a couple of little things we've done to make it comfortable for so long. So follow me, welcome to my crib. Power, I'm going to talk about how we've managed to run the fridges and all the rest of the gear in a separate episode. But basically we've got a heap of solar panels out to power us for this period. The boat came along. My 3.89 Stesco Squire was sitting on the roof on the way up here. And as soon as we got here, we offloaded the thing using the ThunderFab rack that's on the back of my Canopy, and we've loaded it onto the Mangrove Jack foldable trailer. So the trailer was actually in the car on the way up here, so I wasn't towing anything, because it's quite rough getting in where we are at the moment. In the boat, I've got a couple of boat rods. The sounder's been powered by a small battery pack that you'll see later on in a future episode. The esky has been full of fish, I can proudly say. And we've done a heap of different things. We've gone out to different reefs, just launched straight off the beach down here. There's no boat ramp or anything like that. But you'll see all that in later episodes. It's been pretty cool. Come around this way, Pete. So for the 10 days that we've been here, I've been camping just in my swag, my Kalkine big boy swag. It's 1100 wide, I think, and it's on a Kalkine stretcher. That's been really comfortable. I could sleep in that thing forever. Pete's got a little bit of a different setup. Pete's sleeping in his Zempire Jet Set tent. That's an inflatable tent, which is really cool. And you can see more of that on his videos if you go check him out. To keep us out of the elements, we've had my really bunky old gazebo. This thing's like, I don't know, 10, 15 years old, but it just keeps going. In one episode, if you've been watching for a while, this thing was actually flying in 100k winds down the river when we're on a tinny trip, so it's seen all sorts. I'll show you quickly inside Pete's tent just because it's too cool not to. Pete's got a big inflatable mattress in there. That thing's really comfortable. It's got a pump built in. I think it was just Wanderer brand, wasn't it, Pete?
Coleman, that one.
Oh, Coleman, was it? And we've got the ice machine in there. You can see there's a power board underneath it. All of that's running off the inverter. And we've been keeping some of our bulky stuff in there just to get it out of the way and keep it out of the elements. For seats, Pete's got an old Wanderer director chair, I think they're called.
Yeah.
Director
Very old.
Folding chair. He's busted it this trip actually, so I think he's in the market for a new one.
That's a fire mark.
Is that a burn?
Yeah, it's been in the fire.
Oh, it fell in the fire.
Yeah.
And it's got a couple of repairs on it.
Old faithful.
It's an old girl. I've got a Oztent chair. It's not a bad chair. It's not super comfortable. Steel frame, so it's fairly heavy. But it's just a good upright position for sitting around a table and having a feed or something like that. Plus, I really like that side table. I'll just quickly show you how that works. Do you mind holding that for a sec? So it's pretty rusty and stuff now, but basically that can be your dinner table. can be a side table for your beer or whatever. And also often when we're camping with Chloe, she'll sit on her chair, which doesn't have a table, and I can adjust this to whatever height she needs to sit and have her dinner, because she, you know, I can eat on my lap, but the little one makes a terrible mess if she hasn't got a table. So yeah, I quite like this. It's fairly bulky. It doesn't fold up too small. It's fairly bulky, fairly heavy, but it's just been handy with that table. So that we don't have sand all through our beds, I'm using the Sea Gear mat. This thing's brilliant. If you haven't seen these things before, it's 2 layers of mesh, and the sand sort of settles through it. So that's we actually haven't swept this thing down once all 10 days, have we, Pete?
No, not at all.
The sand just sort of settles through it. It's really cool. I think they were designed for landing helicopters in the Middle East or something by the military. They're not cheap. It's a couple $100 for a floor mat, which is expensive, but so worth it.
After this, I would absolutely buy one.
Oh, you reckon you'll get one?
I'm telling you, yeah, just to, you know, it makes no sand on your feet.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So I'll show you what this area looks like lit up at night, because it's pretty cool. So we've had those citronella candles going. These little solar powered tiki torches have been awesome. There's 4 of them in each corner. And then I've got that LED light hooked into the USB points there. So yeah, it looks pretty good all lit up. It's been quite cozy, hasn't it, Pete?
Yeah, it has, mate. They are a good substitute for a fire. I reckon it's the best you can get.
That's pretty much what we've been going. Because you're not allowed to have fires here, which was a bit of a bummer for us. Yeah. We like that ambience, you know. So that's what the citronella candles and those solar powered tiki torches have been about.
Awesome, great idea, man.
And then to power all of this stuff, because you've seen the ice machine, obviously we're charging a lot of camera gear and stuff like that. Pete and I are both running fridges. All of my gear is running off my ute. So I've done heaps of videos before about my lithium setup and all the rest of it. But it's all done by Off-Road Living in Wangara, using their Allspark lithium batteries. I'm running their big inverter. And off that inverter, I'm able to run an air fryer, which we've been using heaps. The ice machine just off an extension cord that we run back into the tent. We're charging drones, cameras, phones. We're running the fridges. I'm living out of an 85 litre upright Bushman's fridge, which has been absolutely packed full. So I've managed to fit 10 days worth of food in that fridge, no dramas at all. Freezer room was a little lacking. It's full of fish now, which is pretty bloody exciting. Freezer room has been a little lacking, but I've used a lot of Pete's stuff. What else would I want to know? Oh, coffee. I love my coffee. So I pre-made cold brew at home. So I don't know if I've ever shown, I think I have shown people how I do that before, but basically it's just a cold steep cold brew. I do it in bulk at home. I'll add it to the milk, dilute it how I like to drink it beforehand. I made 2 of these 3 litres and I froze one so that it would last, because obviously you've only got a week or so expiry. So one stayed frozen from the get-go and another one was fresh in here. So that's been good. We're 1 more day and we've still got a few cold brews to drink, Pete. I've just been cycling beers through, because you can't fit 10 days worth of beer in a fridge at one time.
Not for you anyway. Nah.
And then in terms of food, just those 2 little drawers there would normally be my pantry. But I couldn't, I'm leaking something in there, that's why I use plastic tubs. I'll just sort that out. Gross. That's right. Yeah, normally I'd fit all my dry stores just in those 2 tubs, but for 10 days, got absolutely no chance. So there's a separate little tub down there. You'll see that was full of all my dry food and quite a bit of alcohol and stuff as well. And we've pretty much smashed through that. We've cooked up some wicked feasts. For people that go camping and eat nothing but hot dogs in buns and burgers and noodles and stuff like that, we're not about that. Pete and I are big dudes because we enjoy our food, so we've cooked some wicked feasts. What else I want to chat to you about? I'll quickly show you, you've seen inside Pete's sleeping quarters. I'll quickly just show you inside his car. It's kind of similar to mine in a way, because he would have all his food and cutlery and stuff like that, he would normally fit all inside, all his cooking gear and stuff, he would fit inside these drawers. But he's had to do the same thing and bring a separate tub because we had quite a bit of gear. And then he's got the big 65 litre, Pete?
Yeah, spot on, mate.
65 litre dual zone Waco. So that's been really handy because the freezer, did we leave them in from yesterday?
I reckon they won't be frozen because they're on the top.
Oh, you're right, they're not.
Yeah.
Sorry, brother.
No, don't say sorry.
I'll get that beer out, eh?
Oh, don't stress.
There you go. Other way.
Sorry, mate.
Cool, yeah. Whoops, beer's in the freezer overnight. That was lucky. Have we used the Travel Buddy? We have. We've used Travel Buddy once for some cheese kranskis.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
Beautiful. But the air fryer essentially does the same thing, but uses a heap more power. But the air fryer cooks everything in 12 minutes, whereas the Travel Buddy cooks everything in sort of 40 to an hour minimum. Would you say, Pete?
Absolute minimum.
Yeah.
You need sort of 45 for it to heat up.
Yeah. Oh, water storage. Let's talk about water. So drinking water, I've just brought bottled water. We're wanting to shower and wash dishes and stuff like that. So I've got an 80 litre tank underneath the car, and I've got water on pump there. So I'm down to a quarter of a tank. I've got about 20 litres left, and so I've used about 60 over 9 days. And I've drank nearly 2 cartons of water. They're 24 packs of bottled water, and I've drank nearly 2 of them. For showers, Pete's reminding me in the background, doing a little bit of an interpretive dance over there. For showers, I'm heating water on the Ziggy. So just in a fry pan, I've shown the Ziggy hack in a separate video because it was just too cool, but just in a fry pan, straight on the Zig, heat a bit of water, pour that into my pop-up bucket, which is a piece of junk. In fact, I've got to show you to save you from buying one. Caribbean from Big W, about 14 bucks. When you fill the thing full of water and you put it down, it collapses on itself and you lose all of your water. I've done it like 3 times. It doesn't matter how gently you do it. Do not buy this expecting to fill it totally up. So that's from Big W. If you know of a better pop-up bucket, please let me know because I'm in need of another one now. This thing's useless. If you can't fill it full of water, what's the point? Anyway, that fry pan full of boiling water, or cold water in first, then the fry pan full of boiling water. And then I would just sit that down here. I'll wait till, I mean, we're in a campsite with people on either side of us, but I wait till it's pitch black so no one else can see you. I turn lights off on this side of the car, and I would get my little portable rechargeable shower out, and I have a shower straight from here, just in the nude. No one's around, the lights are off. No one's got any idea what you're doing. That was all my boating gear in this drawer. My reels, I take off my rods and store separately in there. So that was basically just boating gear. This side's tools and stuff like that. The drawer's shorter because the battery's hidden behind the end of the drawer. There's a Maxtrax Indeflate, which a lot of you suggested I buy after my Camp Boss deflator video. I've got to be honest with you, it works. No, it works okay, but it's just so fiddly. I'm never going to use the thing. I'm either going to sell it or just give it away to someone. Maybe I'll run a competition on the channel for someone. It's brand new. I've used it like 5 times and it's so fiddly I'm not going to use it. That's a solenoid for running my winch to get the boat on and off. That's my inflator hose for the air compressor, which is concealed up there. Solar shower bag, which I thought I might use, but I haven't. Right, Crazy Canvas gear bags. That's a vinyl top one. Crazy Canvas. I like this stuff. I've paid for it all myself, but he doesn't know who I am. But I don't know. I just like their bags. Plus their width was perfect for my drawers, so that was cool. So he does a heap of different style of bags. So that was the clear top one. There's a solid one here with some... I'll show you quickly what sort of spares and stuff I bring, I guess. Big pack of random nuts and bolts. You'll have no idea how often I've had to dig into that. Fencing wire, that's actually stainless steel, so it wouldn't be fencing wire, but that's for just binding things together. Say your exhaust mounts break or something like that, you can't use cable ties because it would melt straight through. You can't use race tape, or duct tape, so you'd use wire. Some electrical bits and pits with a soldering iron in there. So there's some solder in there somewhere so I can repair electrical stuff on the go. And then there's a bottle jack in there, spare belts, multimeter, emergency self-amalgamating tape, tyre repair kit, spare radiator cap, spare lug nuts, hose clamps, Loctite, all sorts of stuff like that. So all just those little bits and pieces. I think there's some spare pulleys in there, all that kind of stuff to get me out of trouble. And then my tool roll, I have really reduced my tools these days because I was just taking so much stuff. So that's Crazy Dog canvas again as well. And I've just got Allen keys, screwdrivers, pliers, side cutters, some ratcheting spanners, and a set of 1/2 inch sockets down there, and that pretty much gets me out of trouble most of the time. That tool roll's from Crazy Dog Canvas as well. I really like that. I'm gonna probably buy some more of this gear. He does another, I bought another little tool roll for him and I didn't know what to do with it. And I found its use this trip, which is cool, because I did bring it along with me. You stay on this side if you want, Pete. So Pete and I pre-made some tackle before we went fishing one day, and it fit, Crazy Dog again, fit perfectly inside those sleeves. And yeah, we went through all of that tackle because I kept getting bitten off by sharks. That was a good day out, and you'll see those videos coming up pretty soon. Other canvas gear I really like, you've probably seen it before, but I want to show you me falling in a bush. I want to show you my bin bag. That's by Nathan and Kelly Beardman at PM Canvas. This thing is just too good. Most bin bags are too small. Once your solo line is full, you can't actually lift the thing out. This thing is so much bigger that I actually fit one of these solo bags, and then I've also got like a mesh insert that PM Canvas made for me that I can put recycled cans and stuff like that in, so for cashing out when I get home. It's also got a little sleeve in there that they suggested not to do it, but I've been doing it anyway because I'm naughty. Fits my folding fire pit, but obviously these things are not rated for weight like that, but I do it anyway. So that fits really nicely, my folding fire pit. It zips shut. It's got pockets both sides, and I put my bin liners and, I don't know, wet jocks or whatever I guess you could put in there. Stuff you don't want inside the car. Got on both sides. And then it velcros and clips off the back, and then it's just a nice spare wheel cover. So it's normally just a spare wheel cover when I'm getting around town. When I go on a trip, I just strap the bag on top. I love that thing. So that's, their phone numbers are here if you want to call them. You want to zoom in on that, Pete, because people are always asking me. Otherwise, it's, yeah, PM Canvas products. They're on Instagram, it's just at PM Canvas products. You can check out other stuff they do and make orders from there. Actually, another thing they do, which is wicked, is that fridge organizer. So that's PM Canvas products as well. I did custom make this one. That's what they do custom canvas works. But they are replicating this for other people because other people have seen that it's quite handy as well. So that's Velcro backed. So I basically got some light sandpaper, roughed up the surface of my fridge, stuck some carpet that they supplied cut to size for me with some adhesive stuff from Bunnings. Once that is set, then I can just Velcro on this organizer. So I made it perfect for my plates and stuff. I like the Cedar Summit. They're a West Australian company. Make hiking gear, that's their pop-up set. Lightweight aluminium knives and forks, that's all Cedar Summit gear. I really like that stuff. Knives, I've got a little magnetic knife block there. I use really cheap knives camping because they get destroyed. This is a Kiwi knife. It says it's called Kiwi is the brand, but it's actually made in Thailand. These things are razor sharp, and they're super thin, so it's really easy to get it sharp again. Like thicker knives are harder to sharpen. You can sharpen this thing with one of these pull through sharpeners that normally would butcher your knives and leave them pitted and wrecked on a good knife, but on these, for whatever reason, it works quite well. They're like 12 bucks each, so crazy cheap, really sharp. I've got half a dozen of them because I just really like them. Amazon or eBay or wherever. And I drive around bumpy tracks, full driving, all the rest of it, and that never falls off. A new knife I got as well, which will be my everyday carry knife. Oh, and it's a little bit rusty, Pete. I've had that in salt water. That's horrible. I've got to look after that. It's a Kershaw Emerson. It was Mitch, one of my patrons that came away camping with me. He had this knife and I fell in love with it. I had to go buy it. I'll show you what I like about it. Totally unrelated to, well, it's kind of related to camping stuff, isn't it? So, sits in your pocket like that, and when you want to draw it, you pull it out, it opens. Because it's got some little hook there that grabs the seam of your pants as it comes out. Yeah, I'm in love with that thing, it's just too cool. Yeah, little things. Probably not going to get in any knife fights, but if I was going to, I'd win. Yeah, everything's fared pretty well on the bumpy tracks. I hate having, it's nervous having that boat on top. I'm just going to get used to it on the really bumpy tracks. I go so slow because it's just so much weight up top. I'd like to get a lighter boat. That thing's too heavy. Surprisingly, the air fryer has absolutely handled all the bumps and stuff. I've had other issues with some of my gear, things breaking, electronic things, and I'm going to talk about them in a later episode that you'll see after the rest of this trip series finishes, where I go into more detail, more depth about how you can run all this sort of gear off grid for 10 days. Yeah, but we had a few hiccups along the way doing that. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up here. I'm going to show you a little bit more footage of what we've been doing, and then that's it from us, and I'll see you when this trip series properly starts next week. Guys, don't forget to get your fishing shirts. The fishing shirts, I can guarantee they work. They look awesome, they're comfortable. I've been diving in them, fishing in them, and I've caught fish, so yeah, there you go. Cheers guys, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Consider becoming a patron. Patrons have been a massive part of making trips like this happen. As you'll see in future episodes, I've broken some gear, I've lost some camera gear, and you know, yeah, I'm not going to go on and on about it, but patrons have been a massive support. So thank you to you guys. Consider becoming one if you want to support the channel. Thank you guys. See you next week.
Just a little bit. I need to do a little. Ooh, can't camp.
Oh, it's sharp.
No, let him run a little bit.
It's sharp.
It's okay. It's okay. Keep going. Come on, mate. Come on.
Oh, it's coming up. This doesn't know he's hooked yet.
Bit of weight there.
Yeah.
Come on, he can't be bigger than you. He can't be bigger than you. Who's the girthier?
I don't know. I don't know if that's.
Oh, the tail whip's a bit quick, eh? Yo! Blue bone!
You are kidding me.
No, what's that?
Oh,
what's
are you
that?
joking?
It's the ugliest fish I've ever seen in my life.
That is so gut-wrenching.
Son, I don't want him in this boat. He's disgusting.